Meltdown presents The Disney Click with Rick and Briers. This podcast is sponsored by Meltdown Comics and Collectibles in Hollywood, California. Find Meltdown on meltcomics.com. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Disney Click with your hosts, myself, Briers.
There you go with the formal thing. I'm Rick. Come on.
I can't help it.
We're having fun here. Or at least I'm having fun.
I'm having fun.
Okay.
I just have been in acting, I guess, for too long. I'm now a robot. I cannot be natural. I don't know.
That's what acting's about, being a robot, right?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Exactly.
I never knew that.
That's
you learn something every day.
Academy Awards.
Okay.
And things. Yeah.
Well, what do we have today on the show?
Today we have our top 5 is back by popular demand.
It's
No,
every week
yeah.
we have it. Okay.
We have our top 5, and that is Disney travel wish list. So may your dreams come true, vacation style. So anything that you want to do, any trips you want to take, any hotels specifically that you'd like to stay at, this was like a free-for-all for Rick and I to just
Disney
go
stuff.
to town.
It's not trips, dream trips, period.
Yeah.
It's specifically Disney stuff.
But it can include the parks. It doesn't have to. We might be enlightening viewers that Disney has a lot of attractions or hotels and things that are not related to the parks all over the world.
Right. It'll be interesting to see where we go with this, right?
Maybe we'll see each other on vacation and wave from across the pool.
All of these are things that, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but these are things that we have not done yet. So
that was the only rule.
Yeah.
You can't recreate
an
old trip.
And part 2 of this lovely episode.
It's a lovely episode. Part 2 is Disney news. And we'll specifically be taking an in-depth look at the new Star Wars trailer and final trailer, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
And a little other tidbits with that and some other Disney items. But I think the big focus might be the Star Wars thing. Mm-hmm. But we'll see where we go.
Yeah. That is our episode.
All right. Why don't we get started with the Disney list?
Okay.
And now, the Disney list.
All right, so now we are going to our Disney list, top 5 Disney travel wish list. Mm-hmm. That's what I think we're calling this. And these are things places that we would like to go to within the Disney verse.
Yes, I wrote a question to kind of put it in perspective. Sure. If you could go on any Disney excursion / experience and or stay at the hotel of your choice, what would you most like to do? And from there, we have our top 5.
Actually, I don't have. That's not true. I have hotel resorts, I guess, but I think I looked at this a little bit more, perhaps sweeping than perhaps Briers did. Once again, we don't talk about this ahead of time, so I have no idea what Briers is going to say, and she doesn't know what I'm going to say.
No.
Yeah.
So, would you like to start us out?
Sure, I can start this
5?
out. Yeah. This is going to make me sad talking about this in a way. Either that or happy, but sad that I'm not there right now. But happy.
I feel that way about all of them. And
okay.
To be fair, all of them are interchangeably wonderful.
Yeah, it's a little. I can't necessarily put any of these. I could easily have 4 be 5 and 5 be 3. I do think my number 1 is probably a clear number 1 though. But we'll get to that. My number 5 is Aulani, if I'm pronouncing it, at the Disney Resort in Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Maui only, and I love Hawaii. Hawaii is one of my favorite vacation spots. The idea of kind of a Disney family vacation in paradise sounds really, really nice. I love my kids to death. They are the best. But one of the things that I would like to do when I go to Hawaii is also have a mix of family time and also have some time with myself and my wife. And I know I could go to Aulani and have a good time with my kids and have some good private time as well. And everything I hear about the resort is that it's a really nice place to stay. They've done a great job there. It's top-notch Disney stuff. I've heard some things that perhaps are, you can go to other places. The food is good, but maybe a little overpriced. I've heard little things like that. But overall, the reviews have been fantastic, and it's something that I hope to do with my family someday.
And it's on the island of Kauai.
Oahu.
Oahu,
yes. Yeah.
Oahu, the filming island.
The one with Honolulu and yeah. The big.
Oh, it's on the big island?
Yeah, well, no, Oahu. Oahu is the island where
well, that's not where Honolulu is. Now I feel all turned around.
The big city in Hawaii is Honolulu, right?
Yes.
Isn't Oahu where the...
Honolulu's on the big island of Hawaii.
I don't think so.
Okay,
boy.
Now I feel...
This is gonna
I'll
be
just say that Aulani is on my list as well, so I'll also wait and talk about it. Talk about it when it comes up.
Crossover.
No, that's fine. Like I said, maybe I'll see you at the resort and we'll wave. Just do a soft wave.
Would you look after my kids for an hour or two?
If I'm there on vacation, I'll play with them. I'll hang out with them.
That was a nice answer. Very nice answer.
No, but that's the honest answer. I'll hang out.
So I guess I should wrap my number 5 up by saying it combines two of the things that I love, Disney and Hawaii, two of my favorite things and places. And so how can it be a bad combination to be at those two places together? That's my number 5.
I obviously couldn't agree more.
Okay.
And I'll talk about it more as we go up the list.
Your number 5.
My number 5 is the half marathon in Disneyland Paris. And the first time this will be occurring will be this coming or next September of 2016. And I've spoken on here before about Run Disney and my passion for it and how much I love it. And I think I can only imagine how cool it's going to be to have the marathon at Euro Disney, which is right outside Paris. And
You've been to Euro Disney before, correct?
I've been to Euro Disney.
So I don't understand. How does this, just to give you a little hard time, how is this different than a place you haven't been to before?
Because I've never done the half marathon there.
Okay.
So I would be I would still be like experiencing the parks, but the reason for going is experience. Because I see the half marathon as a full experience.
I'm giving you a half cheap one on this.
No.
You give me a hard time about cheating.
This is not
I think it's a great thing. I'm not shooting down your idea. I love the idea, but you've been there before. You've done that.
Yeah, but I'm not saying, oh, I just want to go to Euro Disney. I'm saying I want to go and do the
marathon. The marathon that runs through Euro Disney.
Marathon.
The half marathon that runs through Euro Disney.
This is the first time it's
where you've
ever
been before.
happening. Yeah, but I've never done the half marathon. Oh my goodness!
Oh, all right.
We'll have to pull. I think I'm totally within the bounds of if it makes you happy, I won't go on any rides. Or
I wouldn't.
Or actually go in the park.
I don't want to punish you.
Because if you purchase tickets to do the half marathon, it does not include park tickets.
Really?
So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
For my pessimistic trip, because
so
of Rick,
you're gonna go and not go into the park at all?
To make you happy, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Deal.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see you do that.
Okay. Great. But so that's
anyway, sorry.
That's one of my dream trips is to now go to Euro Disney and do the half. And I think because the park's pretty tiny, that a lot of it would be out in the countryside, and I can just envision that it'll be really, really special.
Right.
But I may never get to do it because it doesn't fulfill the dream
requirement.
requirements.
Wait a minute. It fulfills the dream requirement. It just doesn't fulfill necessarily the rules of this list.
It does fulfill the rules.
I'm encouraging you to go do it. I want you to go do it.
I think it 1,000% fulfills the
Really?
rules. It's something I've never done.
Okay. All right.
I feel very attacked. Twitterverse, save me. Come to my rescue.
It sounds fantastic, and that's such a Briers thing to do. I mean that in a good way, like to go run in Paris. If you know Briers, she loves France and Euro Disney and all that has. So
let's head on to your number 4 and see.
She's like, moving on before I see the little bit.
In your...
Oh, there's no holes in.
I'm sure.
Well, I bet you.
Rick never likes to pick 2 items for one or.
Well, you now are 2 to 1 on me on the cheating on these lists.
That is not cheating. You have cheated in the past.
Number 4. Number 4, and
cheating.
this is probably where she's going to say I cheat because none of the other ones she can say I cheated on. Number 4 is a Disney Alaskan cruise. I've been on
Oh, but you've done a cruise.
There it is. See,
but
so,
that's
so
the exact same
predictable.
thing. No, you set yourself up for
Well,
that.
I've been on. It's a different ship and a different part of the
Exactly.
country.
Yeah.
So Alaska and the Caribbean
I've never done that
Alaska and the
specific
Caribbean are exactly the
experience.
same. Cold, warm,
But you've done a Disney
snow,
cruise.
sunshine.
Okay, so sorry. Which one have you already done?
We did on the Fantasy, the Caribbean Fantasy, a few years back, and it was awesome. Did it with my family, my extended family, and it was really, really a lot of fun.
Okay.
And so,
your
a
dream
wish,
cruise.
the Disney Dream Cruise. There's other cruises that I think I'd like to do as much, if not more. But
I've heard the Disney ones though go
it's
above and beyond.
fantastic. And the I'd like to do Alaska. I love the Disney cruise. It was so much fun with my family. I really would love to do the Disney Alaska cruise. It goes to starts in Vancouver, Tracy Arm, Skagway, Ketchikan. How do you pronounce that? I don't know.
I just know Juneau.
Yeah, it goes to Juneau as well. Boy, we're really showing our geography and knowledge of cities in this. I'm a little embarrassed here. Anyway, I think it would be a ton of fun. The cruise ships are. I wasn't a big cruiser until a few years ago when I went on first cruise I had. The first cruise I'd been on in years and years and years and years since I'd been in high school. And maybe it was the Disney thing. Maybe cruising has changed so much since the last time I went. It was such a great trip to go with the family. It was so nice although I like exploring different hotels, it was nice to just have one place to have all your stuff and have the boat move for you. The shows were great. The amenities were wonderful. The one thing I will say that the food was good. But it's still cruise food. It's still a banquet. They did a great job for what it was, but it wasn't. I would have liked a little more. I'm a big sushi person. I like to be able to get good sushi, and the sushi they had was okay. I mean, so they did the best they could in that respect. But I give it really high marks otherwise, and I expect no less from this Disney Alaskan cruise. I would really like to go on the Disney Wonder. I think the Disney Wonder is supposed to be refurbished perhaps next fall, fall of 2016. So the earliest I'd probably be able to go would be summer of 2017 for a Disney Alaskan cruise. So that's my number 4. I really recommend anybody out there to do a cruise if you can. It is an absolutely wonderful experience, and it's like a little bit the anti-cruise. I thought it'd be really crowded too, because you're on a ship with all these people, but they really do a nice job of making it feel not so bad. Really impressive.
Disney.
Yeah, they did it right.
Magic.
They do it. I wish they would build a couple more ships.
At sea too.
Yeah, it's really hard to get. You got to book these cruises way ahead too.
I believe it. It's just like the parks.
Yeah.
But even more limited space if you think about it.
For sure. So that's my number 4. What's your number 4, Briers?
My number 4 I could see you giving me more grief about, but it is within the rules. And that would be going to Walt Disney World, where I've been, but staying at the Polynesian Village Resort, which is showing, as will be evidenced again, my love for all things Hawaii, just not knowing the islands. Which
Have you been to Hawaii before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandfather was stationed there in the Marines, I believe. My dad was already born, and one of my uncles was born there, and so my grandparents feel like a love for it and have taken us back as a family a few times over Christmas. So we actually did, as a family, we did like a dinner at the Polynesian one time. We did a luau there when I was really little, like 7 or something. And so it's always stuck out to me. I think too, what I really like about the Polynesian is that it's right along the monorail.
Yeah.
And it's that proximity to the parks and like the easy access and just being able to hop right on. It literally goes feels like it's going through the hotel, not in the same way the Contemporary does. I'm not as big a fan of that style. No offense to the Contemporary.
You've hurt its feelings. It's crying.
I'm so
right
sorry.
now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
It's hip.
I'm with you, but the first time I went to Disney World as a little kid, I stayed at the Polynesian. Now back then there weren't that many hotels to stay at, but I have very fond memories of it. It's very cool, and I love what it is.
It feels almost like a throwback too. Like they kept a lot of that feel of like 70s Hawaii in a way.
There was a controversy recently. Controversy might be too strong of a word for it, but they changed the lobby of the Polynesian.
So when I was going online and looking at the hotels and things, just want to note that this resort is undergoing refurbishments currently. So it's currently shut down. You cannot stay there right now.
At the
To
Polynesian?
that extent, yes.
No.
Yes. You cannot book rooms. When I was online looking for my dream vacation.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. I mean, well,
The whole resort is shut down?
I mean,
That doesn't sound right to me.
It just said this is undergoing refurbishments in a sense of you can't. Maybe it was just they wanted to acknowledge, but I didn't see like an option to book rooms.
Yeah, I mean, not that I regularly check how the availability of rooms are at Walt Disney World, but that seems odd to me. I don't think they would shut down the whole hotel.
I feel like they would because I feel like we're talking about how much we love the hotel
but
and
it's
how
spread
old
out.
it is, but I feel like it's been a while probably since it's had like a thorough.
But don't you think
renovation.
They would do? It's a pretty spread out property. Don't you think they could do one section and then keep one other section open?
But I don't know. They have so many hotels that they
Right.
can. If they do it one at a time like that, it makes more sense.
Right.
Instead of you have unhappy guests staying at 5 hotels, being like, "Oh, half our hotel is
Right.
under renovation." You're staying just at the entire one is shut down, and you can guarantee that where you're staying is fully open and functioning.
Right. Let us know.
Disney.
Anybody who knows out there, Walt Disney World aficionados, let us know if we are correct or incorrect.
There's definitely something going on.
Yeah, well,
1,000%.
I know the lobbies, and I know they did those recent over the lagoon vacation villas that are really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They look really sweet. That would be the ultimate place to stay, I think.
All of it just feels like
I like
you
it.
You don't have to leave the continental U.S.
Right.
And you feel like you're in Hawaii.
Yeah, I like it.
Neat.
Polynesian is one of my favorites. That
I want to stay there and then hop on the
well,
monorail.
I think that's a dream that could come back. Where are you staying when you go this winter?
Our friends who we go with are longtime vacation club
Right.
members, and so they have their timeshare, and that's in the Key West Villas Village.
Old Key West Resort,
I believe.
Okay,
Though they might.
I'm
correct
sure
me on
you're
that.
on.
I feel pretty confident. So
Okay.
we tend to stay on their timeshare. I got to become a vacation club member, and I don't know if you can have a timeshare in one of the hotels like that. It tends to be more those properties that are more built up, or spread
Right.
out.
Well, they have. There's nice options. The Disney Vacation Club has nice options. I've looked
You're
at
not
it a little bit.
member, yeah.
No, it's just not. I'm not a timeshare
That's a dream
person,
of
but-
mine.
Really?
Now
Okay.
that I think about it,
My fear with
accidentally.
that, frankly, and this is not to sound anti-Disney. This is anything that I don't want to be locked into feeling like I have to use. And they can tell me you have all these options to do it, and I understand
really
that
do.
you
Everything
do.
we're talking about
as far
falls
as
under it.
as far as vacation, I think Disney Vacation Club might be one of the better ones of having a lot of options. But I
Oh,
still
yeah.
don't like the idea of buying into something where
Right.
I'm forced into it. No matter how great the options seem to be, I feel like
Yeah.
I don't want that pressure on me
Well,
to
and I
have to go
think
there.
too now it's grown and it's so expensive. When our friends were like one of the first years it ever started, so they kind of got on the ground floor of it and have been able to have the benefits and not feel as like tied down to it. I don't know, or it's maybe more.
Yeah, I don't
they've
know.
gotten like grandfathered in with
Right.
fees, or I don't know the
Right.
specifics, but
But there are a lot of nice options to when you're a vacation club,
mm-hmm.
a Disney Vacation Club person. So, and I know the Polynesian has a section. I know the Contemporary Resort has a section. So
now you've given me
that's
the
a good one.
idea to just be like, oh, I'm getting a room by myself in the Polynesian to live my dreams and just running away from the whole family.
You will recognize California, Los Angeles, or Anaheim versus Florida. The Paradise Pier, which is the lowest end of the resort, is the price level is basically a moderate at best. It's a moderate resort. So the ones like the Grand
This
California
is what we
or
talked about in
the Grand
Land
Floridian.
versus World. That was
Yeah.
one thing where it's like shut down.
Yeah.
World just has more options, so the prices match up.
Right.
When you pay $500 a night, you're seeing what you're getting, whereas at Disneyland, you're paying $500 a night for like a glorified Marriott or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's a good one. I like that one. That one meets the approval because we clarified staying in a hotel. So
Yeah, that was in the question.
okay.
And so now your number.
I'm getting just these looks
3.
of hate from Briers here, and she's a lovely person, and I've managed to anger her.
I just feel like the half marathon is extremely legit as a dream, and I've never.
I think
done
it's
it.
legit as a dream. I'm not knocking it as a dream. I'm just saying that you've been to Euro Disney before, so it
So I
seems kind of
can't
like
do it because it's at a place I've
No,
been?
you can do it. Just put it on this list under the conditions. I'm not sure. It's not a little bit cheating on the
It's
list.
a Disney experience that I've never had. Boom. Okay, your number 3.
My number 3, Shanghai Disney. Not open yet. Not open yet. But brand new park. There's just a whole bunch of new attractions. I'm so curious to see what they're going to do with this land, with this Disney park. I think it's going to be fantastic. I would be first in line if they'd let me. Disney, you listening? I want to go. Take me out there. I'm just really excited for it. I feel like they're taking the Disneyland concept, and while they're sprinkling some familiar things in it, I feel like so much of it is a really kind of a new experience for Disney. And that has me really excited and wanting to go. Not to mention you get to go to Shanghai, which isn't so bad either. So that's a big one for me. You have a look that might be on your list as well.
It might be. Yeah.
Okay. Stealing your thunder.
You'll
I'm
see
sorry.
there might be just like a tad bit of crossover.
Okay.
With our list. So
This is the danger. This is the danger of not discussing ahead of time. But
no, it's great. It's great though, because I'm realizing I'm like, if Disney ever wants to sponsor a trip or an excursion or a Disney experience for the podcast, we're on the same page with our dreams. So there wouldn't be a lot of fighting. Maybe just the order of things, what your preference.
Oh, we can enjoy the Disney thing. That's not an issue with us.
I might say as well. So we can go on.
All right, I'm going to leave some space for you and not talk too much about it.
No, that's fine.
Let's go on to your number 3.
My number 3 is a Disney cruise. Specifically, I found 2 that interested me. I've never done a Disney cruise ever at all or gone near a Disney cruise ship. So this is extremely within the guidelines.
I
just clarifying.
I wasn't going to.
Making sure.
Yeah, as was my Disney Alaska cruise, was perfectly within the guidelines. So.
I was pushing. You've been on a cruise.
Okay.
No, so I found the Disney Magic, which is the 7-night cruise. I'm definitely I've gone on a few cruises and it's like, if you're going to go, don't do the 3-day, 4-night.
It doesn't give you enough time.
In.
Yeah. I would say the 3-day cruise. I've never done it, but you just get settled after a day or two.
Yes.
And so a 3-day cruise doesn't work. You really need a week.
Well, because then you have a little more time. I like when there's 1 or 2 stops where you stay overnight and the boat isn't moving or the ship isn't moving. So you can leave the boat and spend time on the land and not feel rushed. It just spreads everything out.
Outside of Castaway Cay, which was the Disney island in the Caribbean we went to, I actually preferred staying on the ship versus going to the destination.
Disney's like, we built a boat that's better than anything you can experience
on
land.
not to Cozumel and I can't remember where else, Cayman Islands. They were nice and cool, but I've been to in my life I've been to places like that, and there was nothing. The experiences were neat, but the ship was really unique. Like I've seen those places. I haven't been on a ship like the Fantasy. So I really want to experience the Fantasy. And it was also nice because everybody was off the ship and I could be on the ship and a little less crowded. So next time I might do a little different.
Cool.
It is cool.
It's just,
it's cool.
The cruises I've done were very, very nice, but just didn't have, there wasn't like a theme behind them, or I think that's what Disney has. That's so
I wouldn't call
special.
it super, super luxury, but it was comfortable, the nice little Disney touches that you expect. Just service. The service was really
cast members.
Yeah. The one thing I was disappointed, this is oddly enough, I talked about the food.
You were disappointed about something?
I talked about the food. The food was good. Not as I thought it was very good for cruise ship, but still good.
Yeah.
We were with my family, and some of them had different housekeepers, and they made all these cool towel animals.
Oh, yes.
And my housekeeping staff wasn't very talented when it came to the animals.
So that's a personal thing. You need to take that up with your specific housekeeper. That's not about the whole.
No, absolutely. I'm totally.
But it's
I'm
like
saying
you're
that
just
was
kind of like we got the wrong.
But there is
slot.
We were unlucky in that, and it didn't break the cruise.
Funny.
It was just a little thing. But I've seen all these amazing things.
Yeah.
So I think I went into the cruise being like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And then we got I got a worm towel, or I wasn't a worm towel. I'm just trying to think something I could do.
You should have written a note and been like, let your inner imagination or Imagineer come out. Feel free to turn my towels
I
into
was
any
too busy
creature
having a
you
good
want.
time to care that much about it. But
Okay.
everybody was talking about, oh, I got this and this. And I'm like,
Well, if
wow.
I ever go, I'm going to write a note if I don't
Okay,
get
you
fancy
do that.
towels.
Well, maybe you'll go. You were saying you're.
Yes, the Disney Magic is a 7-night cruise, and that's in the Mediterranean and Northern Europe. So that could be cool.
Oh,
like
yeah, sign me up.
And kind of like a unique juxtaposition between like Disney and very commercial and a little, more for kids. And then you get off during the day in Europe and you get to kind of sightsee and take in some more cultural experiences, more adult perhaps.
I thought about this cruise, by the way, to put on my list.
Uh-huh.
You'll see kind of why I just for sense of variety. But this is a great choice because I would like to do this one too.
And then I was between that and the Disney Wonder, which goes it has a bunch of different routes, but there was one from Vancouver to Hawaii. Got to get that Hawaii. Hawaii's on.
Wow, look at
a
you
few
doubling
points
up on
my
Hawaii.
list. Maybe
Not Alaska, huh?
tripling. I've
No Alaska?
been to Alaska. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been to Hawaii, but Hawaii I would return to
Before Alaska.
multiple times over.
Yeah.
Alaska, nothing else. I would definitely do that as well.
Okay.
But these just stood out to me. Vancouver, I went to when I was very little for a wedding. And
It's a beautiful city.
yes. And so that I'd love to go back to because I was so young and I only really remember it more from our home movies. So I think it's like, I don't know how much it's actually
Right.
my own memory.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do those places.
Cruising is, if you're for the people who want to be adventurous but maybe aren't quite as adventurous in putting their own itinerary together, cruising really can be a great thing because it gets you tastes of places, but it's within a comfort zone that I think is nice for a lot of people. I'm kind of a mix. I want to do some exploring on my own, but I also don't mind not having a low fuss vacation. So
And my thing, I'm not even a huge cruise ship. Like I wouldn't put it as my favorite way to travel.
Right.
But I'm just so interested to see how Disney does it. And it sounds like everything I've ever heard from people that have done the cruises, it's been like above and beyond any other cruises they've been on. So that's kind of been like, I liked cruise ships enough to, I think that Disney would
this is
seal
turning
the deal.
This is turning into a little bit of a go cruising, but I also know people who are not big cruisers, and Disney has an answer for that. But we'll get to that, I guess, a little bit later. So on my list,
Was
yeah.
that a segue into your number?
It's not a segue into my number
maybe,
two,
okay.
but maybe
What,
my number
we
one.
can still segue into
My
number two.
number two is Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Sea. These are the two parks. Obviously, I have an interest in international parks. Parks are probably my favorite Disney thing, and Tokyo Disney Sea. If you talk to a real Disney park lover, pretty universal. It's pretty universal that people who've been to all the parks and love the parks say Tokyo Disney Sea is the best theme park, the best park in the Disney universe. I've heard that from.
Is it similar to SeaWorld? Like
not similar. It's centered around perhaps a lagoon of water, set against the water.
So there's
but
like a lot of man-made water.
yeah, I think people feel it is so impeccably themed. They did such a great job with it. They have the Journey to the Center of the Earth ride, which is supposedly people's favorite ride out there. It's kind of a mix of a little bit of Radiator Springs Racers and Dark Ride and Test Track kind of. I don't know. I've heard so many good things about it, and I'm also really interested in to go to Tokyo too. Like I'd love to go to Tokyo. So it's kind of a mishmash of all those things. I get Disney. Everything seems to be a mix of Disney, which we obviously love, and something else we obviously love. So in this case, Tokyo is a place I really want to go to, and I've heard just nothing but great things about Tokyo Disneyland, Disney Sea specifically, and it just looks amazing. And the attractions are a little bit different, and just see how they do things over there. So that's a big one on my list. So check it out sometime if you have a chance.
Check out Tokyo Disney.
No. I mean, check out. Go
Like
online.
online.
Go online. Check out
It sounded so casual. Like,
yeah.
get on a plane, just like go to Tokyo
whatever.
Disney
Well,
and
this would be
hang out.
Such
It's
a
not
dream.
that much money.
Yeah.
It's like, just get on.
No, but if you really pay attention to the community out there, a lot of people haven't been to Tokyo Disney Sea, so I think it's hard to say no that people.
I don't think a lot of people have necessarily been to Tokyo.
Well, correct. So I think that people, you don't hear it as much, but the people who have gone really rave about it. Really rave about it. The one thing I'd be concerned a little bit about would be crowds. I've heard the crowds can be pretty bad, and I think Disneyland
Yeah,
and
for
Disney
them
World
for
crowds are
them to be
terrible.
pointing
so
out bad crowds.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
we've
little
got bad
scary.
crowds here.
So, but outside of that, I got to get there one day, and I know my family would like to go there. So that would be a dream trip.
That's a
So,
good dream to have.
Yeah, you're number 2, Briers.
My number 2 is a park outside of the U.S. and one that you have mentioned. And as appealing as you're making Tokyo Disney sound, this is my number 2 is Shanghai Disney. And that comes, I think definitely the newness of it and all the hype that's come around its opening. Also, we have a family friend connection who lives, now actually does not live in Shanghai, but was married in Shanghai. And I actually went out to Shanghai for the wedding a little over a year ago. And it was such a bummer because we were like, a year away from the opening. It's like if you'd gotten married a little later, or if we could have
Don't you know it has to be
this
scheduled
out.
around my Disney love?
Yeah, come on, get it together. Yeah, so it'd be kind of like a 2-for-1 to visit them and visit the couple and then maybe hit up the parks. And actually, our friend is in the food industry, and his restaurant is going to be, it was the only one chosen to represent China in one of the food pavilions. I should know the specifics of it more. So I feel very
Do you know the name
connected.
of the restaurant?
Oh my gosh, I should have. I do not
Okay,
off the top
I
of my
don't mean to
head.
put you on the spot. I thought
'Cause
maybe you'd know.
it's not
But that's pretty
an
exciting.
American-
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was a very big deal. In a future episode, I will get the facts so we can.
I'm sure we'll do an
yeah.
episode when Shanghai finally opens.
Yes,
Impressions.
Yeah.
And
maybe
after going.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So yeah, no, I just would love to go for so many reasons. And it was almost my number 1, but I will say I was having some flashbacks. The travel it's a long trip. So, and I'm like Europe from here or Alaska or Hawaii, like 5 to 7 hour plane ride. Like,
Oh, Europe
done,
is longer than, Europe
I'm
is
thinking
10
of like
hours, right?
Hawaii. From here, I
Yeah.
guess. I'm
From Los Angeles.
Yeah, from where I would usually, from the East Coast.
Right, it's better.
about 6. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9. I think it's 9 or 10. Yeah, maybe 10.
I agree with you.
10 even. 10 is good.
Travel is daunting. That I love the visiting new places.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the act of traveling. It's got a little easier now with personal electronic
Mm-hmm.
devices, but it's still you're kind of in this big metal tube for many, many hours with not a lot of leg room. It's pretty claustrophobic and unenjoyable.
I wish I remembered the exact time of it was in the teens. I want to say 15 hours, if that's right. It was around 15. It was brutal. It was like, and I was doing it alone because the whole family was meeting me there. And, it was rough. And so that's why I'm like, maybe if I had people on the plane with me. So it's a long trip. So as long as if you're chill about flights past 10 hours, then go for it.
Right.
Just be ready.
I'm not big into sleep aids, but that might be something that I would take advantage of a sleep aid for a trip that long. But it'd be worth it.
And the time
It'd be worth
change is for LA, it's literally the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So noon is midnight. Like, and your body's just like,
so like a few
what's
days
going
you're
on?
just messed up, basically. Yeah. Well, it's all worth it for the sacrifice.
You're flying, you're on the Tron ride, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, Tron lights. Well, don't get me started.
Okay.
Yeah, love
I
that.
won't.
My number
number
one. My number
one.
one is perhaps the least Disney-ish of the list. I have never been to Italy. Italy is like my wife and I were supposed to go many years ago. A little personal story. And I got laid off from my job at the time. This was many years ago. And we were deciding to start a family. And we were planning this trip to Italy, and we just had to make a decision. Do we kind of save, and because you don't know what the future holds right now, or say, yes, screw it, let's go to Italy. Obviously, starting the family won out, and I'm happy. That was obviously the right choice, and I couldn't be happier with my family, my daughter, and my son. But Italy still hasn't happened. Well, don't you know? Adventures by Disney has a Italy trip, and I hear that the Adventures by Disney is an amazing trip. They do a great job, and this is Italy trip. It hits all the Rome, Florence, Tuscany, and Venice. There's a part where you can make your own pasta and sample wine. You obviously hit some of the tourist traps, not tourist traps, the tourist sites.
Tourist
Yeah, tourist traps. And I think I would trust Disney a great deal to do it right. And if I wanted a kind of little taste, it's a 9-day trip, I believe, just a taste of Italy. I can't imagine a better,
literally and figuratively.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right, a better place that would show you what you need to see in a safe, comfortable environment, and they know what they're doing. I just you kind of trust the name Disney. That's the Adventures by Disney trip I think I would look to take right now at this point in my life, and I think it would be great for the kids too. I think the kids are old enough to do it if we wanted to.
Do you have a like 5 or 10 anniversary, like 15th or 10, 15, 20-year anniversary coming up?
No,
That's like
15. Our next one is 15. So
this coming one?
Next year will be
That's
15. Yeah,
That's what I'm looking for. This is what
there's
there
so
you
much.
go.
There's so much to do.
That's
I don't need
perfect.
an excuse to do these things.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I
Well,
guess
no, I'm just giving you a to
motivation.
a momentous big thing.
I
occasion.
I looked at the prices and just kind of while I'm researching this, just curious. This looks fun, and they're really expensive.
Yeah.
They're really. I'm sure worth every penny, but really expensive.
Yeah.
Like save up.
Is it
trip
very
of a lifetime for many people,
like
expensive.
You kind of put the money down, and Disney does a lot of the heavy lifting,
Yeah,
so to speak, with like planning things and signing you up for things and
The one thing
travel, getting you places.
I don't know. I didn't get so specifically into it. I mean, I think a lot of it's planned out for you. The price might have included the plane tickets as well, but I'm not sure. But if they don't include the plane tickets, then it's really, really expensive.
Oh yeah,
But it looks like an amazing trip. And I mean,
maybe 20 years.
yeah, this is something that I don't necessarily have to go with Disney. But if you're telling me my Disney wish list, I think Adventures by
Yeah.
Disney probably does a great job with this.
Yeah.
And I would love nothing more than to be able to go on that trip. It would be a really special
For
thing
sure.
to do with my family. And I think they would do it right. And as I said, if I were going to do a trip with, beyond just my wife, but also my kids, I think this would be a good way to go for sure. But, if
sounds
anybody's
neat.
been on Adventures by Disney, let me know. I don't know how many people
Yeah, I'd
have
be
really been on
interested to
these,
know
but-
exactly how that shakes out,
Yeah.
like how it works.
Sure,
and-
at the Disney Click on Twitter, right?
Yes.
So.
And at the Disney Click on Instagram. And you can share your own top 5 dream travel vacations using hashtag top 5 Disney Click.
Very good.
Not too formal.
No, that was okay.
Okay. Medium formal.
No, it was fine. It was
Just
fine.
try not to be as formal.
No, it's okay.
Trying to be more chill and breezy.
We're not supposed to say you're going to be chill and breezy. Just
What I did.
okay. That's
See,
all
that
right.
makes you more breezy because you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so breezy. I'm talking about being breezy.
Let's go to number one.
Okay. Okay.
Briers number one.
My number 1 was your number 5, which
I had a
sounds
feeling.
about right for us. And that is Aulani in Hawaii. That is, as soon as this list came to fruition, I was like, Aulani, done. That's my number 1, and then I can fill in the blanks from there. It's that easy. Like I said, we've gone to Disney, or not to Disney, to Hawaii, a handful of times over the past few Christmases for my grandparents' anniversaries. Speaking of trips for wedding anniversaries, and the last one was 3 Christmases ago, and it was right as Aulani was getting finished, and I really pushed. I was like, let's do Aulani, and I almost had him, but then we were traveling with 25, and we were gonna have to stay in the villas, and the villas were going to be done in time, and it did not work out. So I feel like I came close to the dream. Maybe that's another reason too. I'm very attached to this, but
It seems it's obviously it's on my list. It seems very within your reach. It's accessible for you. The dream is very much there
Yeah.
for you.
well,
Like
and living in California, it's
5-hour
Hawaii
plane
is
flight.
so close,
Yeah.
and so easy. And I think, and at the time, I read up a lot on the resort, and it seems like they just made it so as authentic as they could to Hawaii. They used real native artisans who worked on the interiors of the hotel and helping to tell a story throughout the lobby and in the rooms, and just like the Disney way that they do things, kind of merging the best of Hawaii with Disney. And that to me is like two loves coming together. So
Right.
that is atop my list.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's obviously on my list, and
Yes.
all these are pretty
Well, the bottom of
interchangeable,
the
as I said.
list.
Well, but as we said, the top of the list is top of this segment is that really you give me any one of these, and I'll be really
Same.
happy. That,
Yeah.
you
Draw
know,
if I have to draw them out of a hat and just pick one of the 5.
And I think I could
be
do the Italy
thrilled.
thing. Frankly, Italy thing could be done with many different ways and not necessarily Disney. But I think my desire to go to Italy is so strong that I think Disney could do it really well. I'd like to hear from or see how they do it, what makes it so special or different. But good list. Good
Yes,
list.
you as well. We had a lot of crossover.
Yeah,
but,
this is our most
but
crossover.
kind of coming at it with different, things that we really are attracted to about that specific excursion or experience or hotel.
It's kind of ironic that we fought a little bit on a list that we had so many similarities.
Yes.
What's wrong with us?
Who started that?
Oh, I don't know. I think you started when I
No.
cheated way back when.
No, no. On this list today,
okay.
things
I
were
know
going
what you're
great
talking about.
until the first time I spoke, and then you cut me down, cut me at my knees.
I'm sorry. Will you forgive me?
Are you sorry?
Not really.
See, you always say don't say you're sorry if you're not sorry. I don't mind.
Okay.
Then you just said you're not. Okay. Let's call it. That's
You're going to make a
list.
good wife someday.
Oh, God.
You're not sorry. Don't say sorry unless you're sorry.
Thank you so much. I'm so flattered that you gave me a reverse compliment.
I do that
Or
sometimes.
a
don't I?
compliment shielded as I guess a diss.
You will make a
pretending to be
you will make a lovely wife. I'm just not going to be invited to your wedding now, will I?
Nope.
Oh man, okay.
It'll be at Olani. You can buy your own ticket if you want to come.
Would you be buying my ticket for Alani? Anyway?
And in this hypothetical dream wedding I'm having at Olani, I'm probably buying all my guest tickets.
Okay.
It's Dreamland, but
All right,
not
I better
yours.
stay friends
But
with you.
But no, your ticket's not.
I'm off the
You have
list.
to buy your own ticket.
Okay. I'm still coming.
Oh, well, great. Buy your own tickets.
All right. All right, enough. Let's go on.
Okay.
Let's go on to the next segment.
And now the Disney news.
Okay, so our next segment is Disney news. As I say that, I sound like a reporter. And we're going to start talking about the Star Wars trailer. And this is the third trailer. Rick is our more Star Wars aficionado, so I want
call
you to
myself the
correct me on
expert,
that.
but
I
yeah,
didn't say
but
expert.
No, I know. Well, I was
I'm not giving you that much credit.
I was preempting the implication that I'm an expert, but I do love Star
Aficionado,
Wars.
yeah.
I love Star Wars.
Definitely more
Into
more
it.
knowledge
Okay.
than myself
But
about
there's-
Star Wars.
There's so many
Just
people
about
who
Star
know
Wars.
more than me, but yes, I will do my best.
So I just came up with some pop questions for Rick about the trailer, just to kind of get a feel for what you thought about it. Favorite moments, or we'll see what comes.
My favorite thing is when the trailer premiered, a couple
This
weeks
could be a
ago, a few weeks
question.
ago. Okay.
I don't know.
No.
Okay, you think-
But
okay.
I was just saying that when it premiered a few weeks ago, how they put it on Monday Night Football on ESPN. And I think
okay.
I tweeted out a little bit like that the NFL and Star Wars are joining together because they both need your charity. Please watch. It was sort of like the last thing. I
Yeah.
thought they would have put it on
They would
in front
both
of
do fine by
without
themselves.
it. Yes, I
Yeah.
thought they would put it on something that really needed it. No, let's just create mass hysteria and put it on two of the
Yeah.
most popular things today in the world. So,
Well,
or at
that's
least
a good
America.
segue to just some of the facts about the trailer and it dropping. It had 20 million plus YouTube views in 24 hours, 20 million in a day. Okay. It led AMC theaters to break its single-day advanced sales record 10 times over. So
Was it
whatever
previously
the previous
the Hunger
record,
Games,
maybe, or maybe Avengers. I would guess Hunger Games.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I would almost think
I didn't get.
I would
that.
think the Avengers, but for some reason the Hunger
'Cause
Games
Avengers-
is sticking in my mind.
What's
I
the
don't know.
current record holder for
what?
highest grossing film?
Oh,
Avengers.
the
Okay.
Avengers. The first Avengers or second Avengers? First one. The first one is higher
First
grossing.
Avengers.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
Which
first
this
one.
will definitely.
Oh,
Pass,
I would
surpass.
think
I mean,
so.
just the interest.
If it's as long as
I mean,
it doesn't
if it's based
suck.
on
If it doesn't suck, it will definitely pass it if it's at least
mediocre.
If it's at least mediocre.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's terrible, that's the only way that it might
and if it's
not.
great, then it's bye.
Oh,
forget about
it. It doesn't have to be even good. Just be okay, and it's going to break it.
The leading online ticket seller websites crashed.
Fandango.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And at its peak of the day that the trailer came out, people were tweeting 17,000 tweets per minute.
And the usual tweet number was something like 200 something per minute, I think, or 300 something.
Yeah, because in the morning when it first came out, it was around 100.
Right.
Yeah, but these are tweets specifically about the trailer.
crazy.
17,000
crazy.
probably using the hashtag Star Wars trailer hashtag.
I love
now.
when you tweet out Force Awakens or Star Wars, they would put a little BB-8 or a little TIE fighter. It's just kind of a little, yeah, it was really cute. Yeah.
Okay, so you ready for some
Sure.
questions?
Sure.
Okay, so in just one word, sum up how you feel about the trailer. Just you'll get to say other words, but just for this moment.
Optimistic.
Good.
Yeah, I think
great
it's
word.
Can I expand? I mean, that's
Sure.
my one word, but everything, I'm worried about setting expectations too high in general, and I think this could be a major. It can't be as bad as the prequels. Not that I thought they were as awful as everybody thinks, but there's a lot wrong with them. That said, we are. I mean, my expectations are rising from what we're seeing, but everything I'm seeing makes me feel good about my expectations.
Yeah,
and that's what I want at this point.
Yeah, no, and I feel the same way. I'm again coming at it with less knowledge.
To be clear, I don't like the prequels very much. I think you take away certain elements here and there from the movies, and it's not as bad as everybody would have you say. I don't think they're good. I just think I can clearly pick out what I don't like about the prequels, and make it probably a better movie. So.
Okay.
I don't know why I feel the need to defend the prequels.
Yeah, I know.
Because they don't need defending.
No,
they're not good, but.
Well, so then what was your gut reaction right after watching the trailer? Like what were you thinking? What was going through your head?
I like the fact that this doesn't sound right to say it, but I thought it was surprisingly subtle. I didn't think it was hitting you over the head with everything. I didn't think it gave away like this whole story or the plot. This goes
back to what we were worried about
a
long time ago. We spoke about our fears of overexposure.
Yeah.
It was great how it still felt like a teaser.
I mean, Star Wars is being overblown. It's Star Wars this, Star Wars that. But
that's
as far
as happen.
You
can't.
But as far as what I know of the story and what's going on, like there's not a lot out there, and that's a J.J. Abrams thing, which I'm thankful for. He doesn't like to give too much.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I felt like I came out like, okay, you've given me enough. I was going to see it anyway, but I don't know the whole story. I'm happy that I don't know the whole story.
Yeah. You still don't know what characters are good or bad.
Right. And you don't see Luke Skywalker at all in any of the trailer. Maybe the hand.
That is one of my
possibly.
questions.
Yeah.
Where is Luke? Because there's all these theories going around now. How much he's in the movie? Does he die? Has he turned to the dark side? What are your?
I'd be shocked if he turned to the dark side. That just is kind of blowing up everybody's childhood. So
that seems like we wasted our time
is a theory,
watching him be good all that time.
That has something to do with Kylo Ren, or I don't buy that. But
so where is Luke, or where do you think Luke
I think he's. I could see him being like the hermit character that Obi-Wan was in the original, and he's sort of this shadowy figure almost
and then comes out as like a guide.
I guess so. It doesn't exactly explain to me why they wouldn't have him in the poster or the trailer. It seems too simple. Like I feel like there's a reason a little bit deeper or stranger than what that is, but I don't know.
So you think him being left off the poster is signifying some big change with his character?
There's some reason. It was confirmed very recently that J.J. Abrams was asked, why isn't Luke on the poster? And he said there is a specific reason for that.
Okay.
But that's all he said.
I'll trust him.
So, yeah. Well, he's the director and the writer, so we need to trust him.
I trust him above and beyond that.
Yeah.
And from the second he was named director, was really excited about him being director.
Okay.
You
Fair
did
enough.
not feel that way?
No. I like, well, we've had this, not 8mm. What's the film that he did? Was it 8mm?
Yeah.
8mm. That's what it was.
But it wasn't called.
What was it called? God, my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like an 8mm.
That sounds wrong.
But I also could be thinking. Anyway, the film he did about the alien, and
I love that movie.
They were filming the movie. I want to say 8mm, but why can't in the world can't? What's that? No, it wasn't Cloverfield. But I think that movie is just was very disappointing to me. So, but that said,
I disagree.
But that said, I thought he did a great job with Mission Impossible 3. I loved Alias, Star Trek. I thought he did an admirable job.
Oh, I love Star Trek.
So I have faith in him to do this.
Super 8.
Super 8. Thank you.
Sorry, that was.
I'm glad
8mm was sounding wrong to me.
8mm, I believe, was a Joel Schumacher like snuff film.
Or was that the one? There was one that Robin Williams was in where he was like a creepy neighbor who
1 Hour Photo. You thinking 1 Hour Photo?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
8mm, I think might be a Joel Schumacher. Maybe with Nicolas Cage. I don't know. It was a really creepy.
But we know it now. Super 8.
Super 8. Anyway, so yeah, I have faith in J.J. Abrams. I really do.
Sure.
And he's done this sort of thing before, so I'm excited.
Well, okay.
He gets
Excited is a
he
good
gets a
word.
Star Wars. He gets the Star Wars fan. What was so disappointing about the prequels, and that was first and foremost that you
Green
understand
screen.
just over effects, the cheesy
Yeah.
love story, acting, wouldn't
But
act.
I think it all came back to, too, the visuals of it just looked like they were just constantly standing in front of green screen, and they were. And already these trailers, especially this last one, it looks also real and like the originals.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, that's so. What are you specifically most excited about in the film? Is there a certain character, a plot point?
I love the bad guys. I've said this. I
Mm.
love the bad. I want to see Kylo Ren. I want to see what he's. I want to see Andy Serkis. I think maybe playing the big baddie, but I could be wrong. I don't know. We don't know that.
And Adam Driver is playing. That's who's playing
Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I like the bad guys. To me,
Yeah.
the heroes. I love Han Solo and stuff. But if you go back to my list, you saw how many bad guys I like. So I want to see how the dark side, how the First Order comes to play and just messes with everybody on the with the good guys. And that's what I'm most interested in seeing. It's always
Okay.
about the bad guys for me. Because really, while Yoda is really cool and I love Yoda, Darth Vader made it, and I said I like Darth Maul and the Emperor. Those are the people I want to see.
Yeah, your top 5 list was majority bad guys.
Yeah. I want to see how things are going wrong in the Star Wars universe in this film. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you, if anything, not like about the trailer? Anything stand out? That question, by the way, is specifically for you.
Look at you, right?
I'm trying to bring out my inner pessimist.
Realist.
Okay.
Um,
Teach their own.
what did I not like about the trailers? Not a whole lot. A whole
Oh.
lot not to like about the trailer.
Or just something that maybe worried you?
I don't. This
The absence of Luke?
no.
Maybe
I
that's
hope.
good.
While it's important, the film has heart. I'm hoping it doesn't get too overly sentimental, overly bogged down in the past and
Yeah.
retriggering
it's a
the childhood
revival,
memories.
It's
Where,
back.
yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to spend
Just
too
have
much.
it be its own story.
I don't want to spend too much time in the past. I want it to be its own story, exciting. Let's not linger too much on, Han Solo and Leia's relationship, and let's get to
Yeah.
where we are now. And
That's a good.
and I'm a little concerned that we might linger a little. Maybe we probably won't, but I'm a little concerned that
Yeah.
we're going to linger too much in that.
It felt
Just
though
one.
in the trailer there was the brief moment between Han Solo and Leia, but then the rest really seemed to focus on these new characters we don't know about, and
Right.
it really did feel majority fresh.
Sure,
I
but
would
you
say.
can see there's going to be a
Th-
scene here and there
that's-
with the
It's
relationship.
like they have to do it, like
Of
pay
course,
homage,
yeah.
and to have the actors while they're still
Right. I'm not against
alive.
that. I'm like, but if it's a big theme within this film, that might bother me a little bit. Than if we kind of recognize that this is a new generation, a new story that's connected to these people. So that's I'm a little bit concerned about that. But it's a minor concern, to be honest with you. I'm just looking for something to be a little more pessimistic about. So
Okay. Well, to
I'm
counter
pretty-
that,
yeah.
last question: what was your favorite moment from the trailer? Probably a baddie moment. Him looking over his mask.
Darth Vader's
Yeah,
mask, you think?
yeah,
I liked hearing Kylo Ren talk.
yeah.
For the first
Because
time.
this
I
was
really
the first
liked that.
time.
Yeah. I was also I like the scene where Chewie and Han Solo kind of have their hands on their head and they look at something, take it off their head a little bit.
Uh-huh.
They're looking at something in surprise. There's something I'm just not sure what that's
Yeah,
about.
so many questions.
I also
that's
like there's a
great.
scene where Kylo Ren is with, I can't remember what the Knights of the First Order, I don't know what they're called, but supposedly they might be followers of Darth Vader and the dark side, and I like that scene, like once
They all
again
have
the bad
their
guys.
lightsabers out.
Well,
And
it's dark and they're all surrounded. I don't know what that's about, so that
Yeah.
intrigues me.
I mean, I think just hearing how what you like is like it's all concepts, and you're not even sure exactly because the trailer's so vague. I'm so happy that it was so non-concrete.
Yeah. Well, we're thrilled that it didn't give away too much. and
Yeah, and it's a
that's
great
really a big thing.
trailer.
Yeah.
It's very like
I-
a lot of anticipation.
I'm excited.
building.
We got our tickets already. We're going
You're
to
part of the breaking the records.
the
that I
we're
was
going to see
speaking
opening
about.
night Man's Chinese Theater.
Awesome.
Can't wait. The IMAX and Man's Chinese Theater. It's like, can't wait. That's where we saw the Phantom Menace. We waited in line. This is before they were doing reserved seating. We waited in line, and it was so much. It was better than the actual movie. Waiting in line with my friends, and all these lightsabers, and people were dressed up as stormtroopers and Darth Vader and Darth Maul, and it was so much cool.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
then the movie happened.
I went to I went to the 3 prequels at midnight.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
Just,
then they
it was
happened,
fun.
but
yeah, it's really it's a cultural event. This is one of those things that obviously it's not just a movie, and even the people who aren't big movie fans know that it's going on, and it doesn't happen that often.
And we'll still maybe go.
I'm just curious as a side, what's something that would be, what's another movie? What's another movie that would have this effect on people now from like this to this degree?
I mean, I don't know. It would definitely not be to this degree, but with the numbers and the sales, Hunger Games has been.
Yeah,
big. I don't
think
like them that much or go see.
Yeah,
them.
I don't think it's anywhere close.
No.
What would be even reasonably close to this? Because I don't think that's even.
Has there been something else that's a reboot or a revival of sorts? I mean, in film history, what Star Wars has done, Harry Potter was the 7th and final was pretty massive and global.
I think you have a shot at the what is it called, Fantastical Beasts and Where to Find It. Where to find them.
Yeah.
I think that has a shot. That won't be quite what Star Wars is, but I think that's the next one has a shot at being something
for sure
similar to this.
Harry Potter, always.
Right? I think that's the next closest thing that I can think of that has a shot.
Yeah,
it won't be. I don't think it'll be this level, but I think it'll be up there.
When it's different,
it is different, but it's the same level of fandom.
Coming from books that are a lot more. I mean, the Star Wars universe is expanded,
right?
As we learned with Tiffany. Longer. I mean, there's just so many venues for it now.
Right.
Yeah, whereas Harry Potter, you can read those 7 books and you know what's going on, and it was translated to film. So
yeah.
So we have some more news.
Yeah, well, this is older, a little bit older news, but it's big going on. It's big going ons, whatever.
Okay.
At the Disneyland Resort, and this is a Star Wars land thing, so this kind of ties in nicely.
Yeah.
The
segue.
Yeah. The Rivers of America, which is a long-standing place, was open. Was there when the park opened, I believe, or close to it. Is being shaved by 25%. They're shutting it down. They're draining it. They're no more Phantasmic for the next until 2017.
It's going to be crazy to see it drained.
Right?
I saw pictures online. I mean, I haven't.
They have to drain it like every 7 years. So.
But like the pictures were jarring. It was like, what?
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. It's not particularly pretty when it's drained, I have to say.
But when you know the purpose behind it, there's no way around it. Literally,
they're basically rerouting the train, the Disneyland Railroad, so it doesn't go through, or at least it's a little bit further away from Star Wars Land. They're going to take the land from the back part of the rivers and dedicate it more to Star Wars Land to give them more acreage, because they need 2 big show buildings for their e-ticket rides going on back there. But a lot of people are kind of upset about it because it's a really old school Disneyland thing, and they're taking away these things. I think it's one thing to take it away for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it's going to be. It's another thing to just say bye-bye forever. The reality,
it's temporary in the grand scheme of
but
life.
But they're shortening it. They're shortening the road, the place where the boats go around, and
it's a long train ride. I think it's fine to be short.
Yeah, I think frankly, it's a big chunk of park that isn't used very much. If you look how crowded the parks are now, they need to do this, and I think the average person isn't going to miss it so much. So I think
it's more for oldies nostalgia.
And I think some of this is I think it's pretty much, I don't know if it's officially confirmed. I know that it's shutting down. I know that these are the plans, but to exactly what degree they're doing these plans is still up for debate, how much they are. But losing Phantasmic for that long and losing the capacity of
that's more on your.
I know you don't like Phantasmic.
I love Phantasmic in Florida. So clarification.
Right. But they're losing a lot of capacity this stuff is going down for a year or 2 here.
Right.
They're losing a lot of capacity. I read somewhere.
Build a new land.
It's necessary. But I read somewhere that it's the equivalent of shutting down both Space Mountain and Matterhorn.
Yes, for the number of rider capacity.
Yeah, capacity.
That
And
you're
you
losing.
think about that. That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's already a very crowded park right now. So it's a little scary to see how it's going to go over the next year and a half or so.
But I looking back, preparing for the 60th, anniversary, I feel like I was in the parks a lot, maybe like the year of the 59th, and they closed Matterhorn for a long time. I mean, for
Yeah, they
months.
refurbished it, right?
And at the same time, I feel like they were doing refurbishments and had other things closed
That was the
for
off
not as
season, though.
long of periods.
That was in the off
Right.
season
So
mostly.
because this will go through both seasons. But
Yeah, and then
I
some.
mean, yeah, it is what it is. It's like either you do it or you don't have Star Wars Land. So I'm
Right.
kind of like, meh, just
No, I agree, and
suck it up, people.
I think that the historians out there, the people who love Disneyland, are don't love this, but I think most people recognize that this is necessary to get to something
Necessary
bigger and
evil.
better. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
it is what I mean. I was at Disneyland this past weekend and went to Tom Sawyer Island or Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer Island, whatever they call it these days, as kind of a tribute because I know we won't get back there we won't get back to Tom Sawyer's Island or Pirate's Island. Before it closes. So I want to take my kids one last time to have them run around there because
You get a picture, family picture,
we didn't get a family picture. No, I got various pictures,
but not on the
not
island.
I don't think I did it on the island. No, I was too in the moment, Briers. I was
That's good.
enjoying
Okay.
myself.
All right.
So.
I'll take
Yeah.
a ITM.
Yeah, you just said you were there
anytime.
recently and didn't get too many. You left your camera, so in the moment it was
Oh
big for you
yes,
too,
I
right?
just played Heads Up, so that's where all my
Nice.
that's my recommendation to anyone with long lines.
We do that too. We do that too.
It's the best.
So that's the big news out of Disneyland related to Star Wars Land, and what else? We have one more item on this this thing.
Yeah, we just in some news there was a woman who died. It was reported that she died on Space Mountain, but in actuality she passed out on the ride and then was taken to a hospital where she died. And so that, caused, it kind of reopened the whole, blogosphere and people commenting their opinions and that whether or not it was the person's fault or the ride's fault. Is Disney to blame? My first reaction is Space Mountain is such a tame roller coaster compared to anything at Six Flags or any other theme park in America. It's a child's coaster. So I mean, I'm with all due respect to the woman and her condition, it sounds like she should not have been on any rides if Space Mountain was going to do it. And it's just funny how people are so quick to be like, oh, Disney's like let things go. But I mean, if you look at how many people
There's
go through the
a
parks,
history of this happening,
Thunder Mountain,
and very rarely is it directly related to a vehicle crashing into them, falling off. It's very rare. That does happen.
From the monorail was very
that's
sad.
brutal, right?
Was from
what happened there? Tell the listeners.
If I remember, in World, at Disney World, the monorail, and it was a human error, but a mistake. I mean, it was not intentional, and I think the man pressed the button, sending the monorail in the wrong direction, I believe, and it crashed into another monorail, and a few people died, and many were injured.
Right.
And I know the driver himself, I think, was killed. So things like that. But then you look. I mean, it's a park. It's an amusement park. It's got attractions. It's not just a park where people walk around and feed ducks.
Right.
You're gonna have. There's risk involved.
Well, and you can also refer to. I'm looking at my list. Indiana Jones Adventure in 2000. There's a 23-year-old woman from Spain who wrote it and complained of headaches, and then she was hospitalized later that day, and she had a brain hemorrhage.
But she had that hemorrhage prior to going on the ride, and anything could have triggered it.
The family says that Disney had, the violent shaking and stresses of the ride. But how do we know? That these are not pre-existing conditions.
She could go on an airplane and that has a lot of turbulence, and the same thing.
I don't want to make excuses for Disney. They do.
Sounds like I'm just doing.
Well, but they do their best. They really do. Look
at how many people go in the parks every day and are. Fine.
It's about the dollar, I understand, but they also want people to be safe.
Yeah,
they also want to be safe. They're not going to mess around with this.
There's no foul play
Life
happening.
Happens.
Exactly.
Life happens. Things happen, and Disney is no exception. Mm-hmm. So this thing that happened on Space Mountain is probably is another reflection of it. Disney, as far as we can tell, didn't do anything. It just was bad timing, and maybe it triggered it. Maybe it didn't. We don't know. But even if it did, that's part of the risks of going on a ride, that it can do that sort of thing. And these things unfortunately happen, and I'm
Yeah.
so sorry for the family
Yes, yes.
and all that. But
What's more interesting to me is just how people latch on to Disney, and they want to attack the corporation,
Sure.
and they see it as this opportunity to be like, look at what they're doing
That's
in the parks, and
right.
Yeah,
Disney
yeah.
probably gets it
Any
as much as anything,
I
but
think
it's
Disney
the
gets
evil
it
empire.
so much.
Yeah.
Like less than maybe Six Flags or somewhere would.
If somebody
just because
could,
of the popularity of the parks.
right? Well, but I mean, if somebody could sue this big corporation and family, and they get $10 million out, $10 million is, well, it's not a little bit of money. It's a drop in the bucket to these corporations. It really is. So they can get $10 million. That's a big deal to the family. So of course they're going to be targets, rightfully or wrongfully so.
Yeah.
They're just going to be targets, unfortunately. So that that's the unfortunate world we live in today. I guess I don't know that Disney's at fault there. So
I don't think they are. Yeah.
So on that down note,
Yeah, I know. We need
have a
some
magical
good
week,
news.
everybody.
Yeah. Take care.
So that's our show.
Yes. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, and at the Disney Click
On Twitter.
right?
And Instagram. And share your own top 5 using the hashtag #TopFiveDisneyClick. We'd love to hear if you also want to join Rick and I at Olani sitting poolside with our leis.
Would you choose Olani over? I guess you would over.
Yeah, Olani's my number 1.
Shanghai Disney.
Yeah, it's my number 1.
All right. Okay.
Were you listening to my
No,
my
I was.
list,
Well, mine
Rick,
was
or
number
taking
5.
a
No,
nap?
I know. I just tried thinking if you had the opportunity, thinking that you could get to Olani pretty easily versus Shanghai Disney's a little bit further away to go.
That was the distance, and it mentally. I thought about the 2 trips, and Olani again. I see myself poolside, relaxing.
I understand. Oh, it sounds
Shanghai, it's a little more stressful.
Let's go right now. I'm going to pack up the family. I'm going to
crowds.
pack up the family.
And I'm part of the family.
Well,
in
yeah,
this
you can come.
scenario?
You can come too.
Oh,
Why not?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Good. Well,
As an afterthought.
have a magical week,
We're off to
everybody.
Olani.
We're going to
We're
Olani apparently.
We're gonna take a little hiatus.
Yeah.
If you don't hear a new episode, it's
You'll know
'cause
why. Aloha, everybody.
We are on the island we can't remember the name of. Or you
Oahu.
remember-
I think it's Oahu. So I know it's Oahu.
I thought it was Kauai.
Yeah. Well, now we're bringing up like it's Oahu. Pretty sure it's Oahu.
Okay.
So
We will be on Oahu.
okay.
Take care.
All right, bye, guys.
Melikaliki Maka.
Nice.
That's early, but I'll say it anyway.
Later on,
Ohana.
guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
The Disney Click is a Meltdown Presents production, produced by Terri Lubaroff and Mason Booker. Audio engineer, the miracle worker, Mason Booker, with your hosts, Rick Lubaroff and Briers Newman. Our theme song, King of the Swingers, is performed by the Swing Ninjas and provided by freemusicarchive.org. Jazzy Frenchie is our break music and can be found on bensound.com. End credit music Dill Pickles is performed by the Heftone Banjo Orchestra and provided by freemusicarchive.org. Don't forget to tweet us at The Disney Click. You can also follow us on Instagram at The Disney Click. Use the hashtag #TopFiveDisneyClick to share your own top 5.